the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
We're got a little change in the schedule this morning. First thing we'll do is approve the agenda.
Mr.
Are
Chairman,
there any additions?
I have an addition under item 3, consent agenda. Please scratch the verbiage after approved commissioners' warrants. It says in the amount of $248,958.84. Just scratch that out of there. That does not have to be there. And we do have add-on commissioners' warrants this morning for $9,995.42. $99.95 and 42 cents. And that's the only change I have to that part of it. At the very bottom, at 10 o'clock, we're having our home abatement public hearings, and also Auditor Treasurer Sandy will be here. And also we need to add another home abatement public hearing for April 12th for Lloyd Zwart, Lloyd Zwart from Edgerton. And that will be on April 12th at 10 a.m. as well, along with the Matthew and Heidi Schaefer action. So on April 12th, we'll have 2 public hearings.
Mr. Chair, if those adjustments, I'll move the agenda.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approve the consent agenda. The minutes of 3/8/22. Approve the minutes of 3/14/22. Approve the commissioner's warrants of $9,995.42. Approve the auditor warrants of 3/11 and 3/18, and approve the hospital warrants in an amount of $746,510.06.
Mr. Chair, I'd move for approval. I'll support that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And this time we'll go to Bill Folger on the IT.
All right.
Morning, Bill.
I've got a couple quotes here for a replacement, called a NAS, Network Area Storage. We do tertiary backups, and this is gonna replace one of the units that we're just running out of space on now. Had the other one for about 4 years in there. Not much you can do. We're just growing. So this one here is gonna be about another, well, it's 48 terabytes from 32. So we're gonna gain a little bit. Hopefully we get about 5 years out of this next one. Price has gone up a little bit since the last time I was here to get one of these. It's gone up about $1,000. Not much to it. Any questions?
Bill, I see you made mention of the fact of video backup space. How, I assume that's basically the meetings that we video, that takes up a lot of that. How long do we need to keep those videos?
Depends. Some of the video, if there's still a case going on, like for the squad video, if there's still a case going on, they have to keep it. Some of that video, depending on what that case was, they might have to keep it forever. That's usually kind of our criteria of how long we keep that video.
So not having real clear, concise guidelines, it's better to err on the side of keeping it, and a little bit of cost, the insignificant cost of the storage is worth it.
For the security camera footage, our goal is 13 months. The guideline says a year, but 13 months seems reasonable. The new cameras take more space.
Yeah.
Everything's more megapixels. So we don't really have a clear idea of where that's gonna be exactly, you know, but we've got a pretty good guess on how much space that's gonna take. So we'll just kind of go from there.
Okay.
Are they available? Good question.
Yes, they were when I got these quotes.
Okay.
The one had 16 in stock, so, and that's just a couple weeks old, so I hope so.
Mr. Chair, do you plan on just keep using the old 32 terabyte, or
So-
what's your plans?
I don't know what I'll use this for at this point right now, but it's there. We may put it over in Nobles with the other sand that's going over in Nobles, and we could do a backup of a backup over there with
Sure.
it. But at this point, I can't redrive this one. I wish I could.
Okay.
But it's just one step back beyond where this is as big as you can make this one is 32
Yep.
terabytes.
So Bill, you got a specific recommendation then that you'd like to bring forward for us then?
Yeah, I'd like to have you approve the quote from SHI. It's a little bit larger than the one from Morse Electronics, and it's just a couple $100 cheaper. Otherwise, they're identical.
Okay. Well, Mr. Chair, I will move that we do approve the quote then from SHI for the $9,745.
Mr. Chairman, amend that, the cost is $5,335, I believe, isn't it?
Yes.
What's the 9,000 on the bottom here, the total?
So, SHI gave me an apples to apples quote with a 40 terabyte, and they gave me a quote for 48 terabyte unit.
That's a total.
And they put them on the same quote.
I see they added both of their options together into one. That's where I saw the total, the 9,000. So yes, thank you for that, Steve.
You're welcome.
I will amend that then to the $5,010 amount.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Then we'll go back to Nick Bergman.
Good morning. I had two items on the agenda for today. If you look at the backhoe purchase, I started with the draft copy and I must have not saved my changes to the final version, so I'd like to just take that off for this meeting, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with that. I think those totals are right, like the grand total, but the breakdown underneath it, I'm missing some stuff, so I want to get that fixed up. And I'll come back with the corrected version. So that being said, the only thing I have left then to be the warranty on our Edgerton blade. We talked about it briefly at the last meeting. That 3-year option that we were looking at, that just seems like so much money for a warranty, you know. I think a better choice would possibly be the 2-year option. With that, we could possibly order that machine early, and then it doesn't show up until, I don't know, say we'd order it 6 months earlier or something like that, you know, and it takes a year to get here. We might be able to fit that into our window to where we actually have the new one right before this one runs out, so minimize our risk that way. So I think that's the route I'd like to go with it. And then, you know, it's possible that if we do a bunch of warranty work to that one we have, maybe we wouldn't want to order it that early. Maybe we'd run it longer if we feel all the major components have been replaced on it. So it's hard to tell without knowing how that's going to play out, but those are kind of our options as I see it. I think we're probably better off. I'd like to try the 2-year warranty, I think.
Yeah, looking at it, adding that extra year costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it really does. Yep, big time.
Mr. Chair, I'd move for approval of the 2-year.
Okay.
I'll support that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried for 2-year warranty.
All right. Any other questions for me? Otherwise, that's all I had for today. Not much, so. All right, thank you very much.
Oh, excuse me, Nick.
Yeah.
The bridge project down by Island, any quick update on that at all?
It's gone.
Yeah.
Gone,
They
yeah.
I haven't been down there, they got the old one tore out, okay, good enough.
That one's gone. We met with the, I guess I'd call them the rock drilling specialists last Friday. There's a specialized crew that has to come down to drill through the bedrock to get the piling set for the new one, so that's new to me. We've never done that before. Been in contact with the bridge office about it. Sounds like we're probably gonna get at least one person to come down on site to kind of help us out with that process. Possibly some more. You know, a lot of those folks have never seen it either, so they might make the trip down to kind of familiarize themselves with it too, so.
What's unique about this project, or is this just a new requirement that they have to have?
Nope, there's shallow bedrock on it, and we have to drill a hole at least 10 feet into the bedrock to set these pilings, so I'd imagine it's gonna be loud and it's gonna be messy and probably slow at that. You know, I'm sure it takes a long time to drill through bedrock, but we'll see. They're setting up a containment system so we don't get anything into the water, you know, at the park there. So new process, but it's, you know, that's why that project's so expensive. But what do? You don't want to set that bridge up and then it, you know, it washes out because the piling are just sitting on top of rock instead of seated down into them. So it's be interesting. Hope it goes well. I think it will, though. I've, you know, made enough phone calls. It sounds like it's not as big a deal as I had pictured in my head. You know, I think it's gonna go pretty well. But you know, when you're diving into something new like that, you know, I tend to get a little nervous because I'm like, oh, we're playing with a lot of money here. I want to make sure we're getting this done right. So.
And refresh my memory, what type of bridge we putting in? Are they pouring concrete on this, or this is gonna be precast, or how are they doing this particular?
This will be like your traditional bridge. You know, it'll have a deck. It'll be similar to what was there. Different. It's not a box culvert. Is maybe what I should say. You know, they're gonna drill the piling, and you know there'll be piles sticking out of the ground, and you know they're your traditional abutments and pier caps, and they'll pour a giant slab over top of it with a walking path on the side again. So.
Estimated completion on it?
We're hoping to be done by Memorial Day. You know that the park's big season is Memorial Day to Labor Day, so that's why we tried to start in the wintertime. We're trying to do our best to cause minimal disturbance to them. So.
Great. Thank you, Nick.
Yep. So.
Thank you.
All right. Sounds good.
Which year?
This year.
This year? Oh, boy, he's got good hearing yet.
Kathy, personnel.
Should turn my mic off.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I have a list of stuff today for the board. I'll start with the recorder job rating, and this was in your packet last Friday. So Gallagher reviewed the job description and compared it with some other department head level positions within the county and feels it should be at a C4-1 rating. So I would be seeking approval of this job rating and placing it on the Pipestone County non-union pay scale.
Mr. Chair, move for approval.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you, and we'll start advertising on this as soon as possible, so. Okay, next I have the EMS call pay. And this was in your board packet as well. So, on the December 28th meeting, Casey came to the board to get these on-call rates approved for the volunteer staff. And I think just for cleanup purposes, and hopefully the board is okay with this as well, they would like to request that the board approve this for full-time staff too, so they are on the same type of call schedule as a volunteer EMT. This isn't new, full-time staff gets on-call pay as well. And in the union contract, it says that, it's left pretty vague, it's that paragraph there. The department head may assign EMT services employees to on-call status. It shall be defined as all hours outside of regularly scheduled shifts. And, the bargaining unit personnel shall be paid an hourly rate consistent with the rate set by the county board. So it's fully up to the board what they want to approve for those rates. And they would like to get that retroactive to 1/1/22 for the full-time staff as well as the volunteers, so they're all on the same schedule.
Mr. Chair, I'd make that motion.
I will second.
Any other questions, discussion?
I guess just point out the importance of our EMT group and their volunteers, and we know a critical role that they play for us, and we need to make sure that we're fair with them, how we reimburse them for their time, so.
Thank you.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Okay, the next two things I have, I did hand out this morning, so they're probably on top of your pile this morning. We have for you a letter of agreement with ASME Council 65 paying, to pay Gretchen LeBrun, who is the deputy recorder, additional money in the absence of a county recorder. So during the interim vacancy, we would like to pay her this $1,200 lump sum payment per month, so $600 per pay period, starting April 1st until such time as the county recorder is appointed. And this is very similar to what we did with Sandy and Pam when the auditor treasurer was vacant. So this is right in line with similar to their payments. And it puts her kind of in the mid-level range for what a county recorder would make. So we feel that this dollar amount is appropriate and fair for Gretchen and all the extra work that she's gonna be taking on.
Mr. Chair, I agree completely with that. Gretchen is been a longtime employee, and she's willing to step up here, and we need to make sure that she's fairly compensated as well too. So I think this is a good thing. I would move that we approve this.
And it has been a past practice.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
I will second the motion. Any further discussion?
I kind of cut Kathy off. Did you have anything else to add, Kathy?
No, just that we met with Gretchen and she was fine with it and very grateful, so.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, the next thing I have this morning is Carl Combs' promotion. Carl did pass all of his tests and his final skills exam in January. So he actually passed everything on January 13th. They just finally received his license last week. And a lot of that had to do with the person where he took it at Western Dakota Institute, not getting it sent in a timely manner. So Casey has requested that we promote him retro to February 1st. And the wage recommendation is right there. We've been trying to be at that 5% range for increases, and this is about a 6.5% increase for Carl. And Casey just wanted to mention that paramedic school is really tough, and she's really proud of him for passing on the first try. Like, he did a really great job. So she's very happy that they have, 2 full paramedics now for the full-time staff, and plus Danielle as the office assistant, and then 2 EMTs. So very fortunate they all went forward with their schooling in a timely manner. And that would be our request to place Carl Colm at the paramedic job title effective 2/1/22 at step B 2219 per hour.
Mr. Chair, I'd make that motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, and then, so unfortunately, one of our new jailer dispatchers did resign after a couple days of training, Doug Karstensen. So I wanted to make you guys aware of that. He resigned effective February 15th. The department has been kind of trying to decide what to do, and they have decided to reopen the position. So it is, if you've seen it being advertised, it is reopened now. And we are looking to recruit again for another full-time jailer dispatcher. So I wanted to just make the board aware of that. And hopefully we still have some interest in that position as well.
Mr. Chair, Kathy, any lessons learned from this? Was the job not what he expected, or did he get another offer someplace else, or is there something we need to do to avoid this in the future?
You know, they did have him come up for a half a day before he accepted the position. But I think it just was different than what he was expecting still.
Well, and there's no doubt, especially the combination of dispatcher, jailer, it certainly takes a very dedicated outlook to be able to work in those types of situations. So I can understand where once he got into it, it just wasn't what he expected perhaps. So, but there's really nothing that we can change of that other than maybe a little more orientation before he accepts the offer, I suppose, he or she.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea to have them come up there. Like, they've been doing that quite often with people who want to know more, to sit up there for 4 hours, learn about the dispatch, learn about the jail before they formally accept the offer. So I don't know, this happens occasionally. I think they're trying to do the best they can with
Exactly, yeah.
giving people a good picture of what the job is.
So is this going to delay Sheriff Reeman's plans then with the lack of personnel, or is he going to be able to cover this being shorthanded?
I honestly haven't gotten an update on the jail opening,
I haven't either.
so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No. Thank you, Kathy.
Yep. And then one more thing. So since we don't have a recorder as of 4/1/22, we will need to appoint an interim for a document, just legal purposes. So we are looking at Steve again, and
Raise my hand.
he has said that he's willing to do that, and he's obviously going to be relying on Gretchen a lot as well, like, to do the bulk of the work, but Steve will be available for questions and signatures and stuff like that in the absence of the county recorder. So we would be asking for approval to appoint Steve as the interim county recorder effective April 1st.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion.
Okay, I will second. It's good to have a person around that can wear many hats.
Goes along with the job of administrator, doesn't it? Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I would like to bring up the fact that we bumped the salary and the people that we bumped Steve for doing this extra work.
No, we haven't, and I haven't asked for anything at that. I'd look at it as a short-term solution till we get a new recorder in there. I'm not asking for any bump in pay.
Okay, I don't want to minimize your
No,
work
that's fine. It's important that we have the continuity. We need to have somebody's name in there. I've conferred with Mary Ann on this, and she's in agreement that it makes sense to do this. We have a person that has the ability to sign, and we're in compliance with the state regulations by doing it this way. So, no, I'm not requesting any increase in salary for it. It's,
Thank you in advance then for that.
It also kind of helps illustrate the fact, again, you as administrator really need to have a working knowledge of all the departments, and we're very fortunate with your background, your experience, your willingness, and your aptitude. So thank you, Steve, for doing that.
to be fair, I have not worked in the recorder's office before. So.
No, but still you have a sense.
Right.
It's not a foreign concept to you.
No, it's not a foreign concept.
You know where the office is.
Okay, any further discussion? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I think that's it.
Good.
If you have any other questions? Okay.
Mary Ann just
Kathy?
stepped in.
Mary Ann is here. You wanna just do the recognition right away?
Sure. Can I have someone give me a hand with some of this stuff?
Mary Ann?
That's fine. So Mary Ann, she's been just an extremely dedicated elected official for Pipestone County for the last 38 years, and we really want to appreciate her for everything she's done for the county. So I have this recognition. I'll let Sue take over, and I'll grab your pipe as well.
I got pictures in it too. I'd just like to say thank you, Mary Ann, for 38 years of being with the county. You've done an excellent job. You've been an excellent employee and a good mentor to me over the years too, and helping me when I was doing the auditing work. And appreciate working with you all the time, and your expertise, and working with Gretchen and everybody else, and all the customers you have in Pipestone County, from law firms to legal organizations. Everybody just, it's been wonderful having you here. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Any commissioners have anything they'd like to say too, that you're not honored to?
You're gonna be greatly missed.
Yes, you will. Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure to work with you all these years.
Right, right.
I'm gonna miss the people, that's
Good.
the thing I think I'm gonna miss the most, is all the relationships and the people that I've had to deal with over the years, and the friends. Yeah.
Can you share with us some of the things that stand out in your memory? All the occurrences going all the way back to when you worked in courts as well?
She's gonna write a book.
Yes.
I think,
You don't have to
oh,
do
I
that.
think one of the things is, how we modernized the office, from writing, believe it or not, with an old-fashioned ink cartridge pen, to having everything computerized, to doing e-recording. When Jill was in the office, I showed her an example. There was a document that had been prepared in Florida on a certain date. We filed it that same date, where before they would have had to cut a check, mail it to us. So it's instantaneous recording, where, before, when mortgages were granted to individuals, they went to their local bank. Our clientele, instead of being countywide, has now become nationwide. And same way with the birth certificates. Anybody used to be able to get a birth certificate, and now there's security who has access to the birth records. And all of that, there's so much security, and just the modernization of the records. Used to be able to get a birth certificate in the county where you were born. Now you can go to any county. So that's the one thing is, and we will continue to modernize the office, because they're talking about going all e-recording, no paper documents, and it's a savings to the county too. We do not have to mail the information, the documents back. All the payments come by ACH payments, so it's a win-win for everybody. We don't have to pay for postage, envelopes, so yeah, it's just a time saver as well as a money saver for the office budget. But I've enjoyed my time here.
Great.
Well, thank you very much, Mary Ann, for your service.
Thank you, I'll miss everybody.
Any
You
hobbies?
know where to find us.
That's right. Any hobbies that you're gonna explore now?
Fishing with Larry. He likes to fish. I like to read on the pontoon and.
She can babysit, so I can go fishing.
That's true.
But who catches more fish between the two of you?
Right, and genealogy, I love to do genealogy, and that's, I think, why I like to help our customers. Yesterday, we had a lady that had contacted us, and she thought that the person had been born in our county, but unfortunately, it was in 1868, and we didn't have, our records didn't begin then. But it's quite a mystery, this family member, she thinks that possibly the grandmother had an illegitimate baby and lied about an imaginary husband, and I did go out there. I have a personal subscription to Ancestry.com, so then I go on, and I printed her off quite a bit of stuff and then emailed it to her, so even though we didn't have the record, I was able to provide her information from other people, so, yeah, that's the thing. But-
Why you go the extra mile?
Right, and I said yesterday, we had a lady, she's doing research, track-ins for an Excel project. And I'm not sure where she came from, but she does a lot of research in Michigan and Wisconsin. And she worked for about half an hour in the vault. She came out and she said, I have to give you your office a compliment. This is the best track index I've ever dealt with in 40 years.
Nice.
So I said, I give that credit to our predecessors too, that came before me, because I just continued what they started. So Pipestone County should take great pride in that after working in 3 states, she said, our small little county has the best record, so that's good. So thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mary Ann.
Thank you.
I'll take this, I went to school with Mark.
Okay, we'll continue on then. Amanda?
We're not gonna give you a pipe yet. You gotta wait for another 30 years.
She's not old enough to smoke.
So, we had our redistricting committee meeting on March 14th, and our next step is that we have to schedule the public hearing to consider the redistricting of the commissioners' districts. So, there is a resolution that Steve prepared.
I apologize to the board for the typo at the bottom of the chairman's name. That was a cut and paste error. I apologize for that. That will be changed. And, Domain did contact me yesterday, and he wished to share his apologies. He was not able to make it here this morning. He's in court today. He says he has a very busy schedule today, so wasn't able to make it this morning. But as Amanda said, board action is to adopt Resolution 591422 to authorize the publication, which is the next document behind that, for the notice of the public hearing at 10 a.m. on April 26th. So the resolution is for the adoption, and then the official publication is behind that, and that's what will be published in the paper for 3 consecutive weeks. And then on April 26th, we will have a public hearing. Anyone comes or not, it's up to them to talk about redistricting. And basically, we already know that the information we had at our redistricting committee meeting, that we're unable to make any changes to the districts based on the populations that we have and inability to move people. Because we can't split cities, we can't split townships, and we're just not gonna be able to do anything. So it will be a very, I believe, a short meeting, but we have to follow the steps, I believe, and go through it, and Domain is in line with this as well, so.
And also, we're still in compliance with the law as well, too.
Still in
because-
compliance with the
right.
law, yes.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve the resolution.
I will second.
Okay. You have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I assume you will get this retyped.
Yes, yep, I've already got my notes to make the changes on it, and I'll get this published, so it would be published the weeks of March 28th, April 4th, and April 11th. It does have to run for 3 weeks, and that's why we had to do it at this meeting, because we waited till the 12th. We'd be out of compliance because we wouldn't be able to have it before the meeting on the 26th. So this is the latest that we could do it.
Do we have to wait till 10 o'clock now for?
Yes.
Okay, I guess we might as well recess then.
If we have anything else at this point, do you have anything else? Oh, sure, yeah, we could do that. Amanda, come on back. We can go. At the 10 a.m. spot, we can, the board can take action to schedule the public hearings for Matthew and Heidi Schaefer and Lloyd's Wart for April 12th at 10 a.m. You can do that now. I think you have the information in your packet on that as well, on the two of them. I handed out one this morning, both of them were there this morning, so.
So yes, we have two new home initiative abatement applications that were received. The assessors have done their given a value, and so now we just have to schedule our public hearing. So we would want to do it at the next board meeting at 10 a.m.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, go ahead, Chris. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Is that for both resolutions or one? Both of them together? Okay.
Is there an address for the Swart one?
So it is, let's see if I have that here. I don't know if, I don't have an official address. It's Northwest First Edition, Lot 7, Block 1 in Edgerton. It is going to be on Hillcrest Street. It's behind Edgeroot Care Center. They kind of have a new addition out there, the Northwest Edition.
What block was it?
Block 7.
7?
Or sorry, Block 1, Lot 7.
Block 1, Lot 7.
Yep.
Hill, in Northwest First Edition on Hillcrest Street. Okay.
Yep.
As chairman of the board member, we'll have that address when we have the hearing. We'll have all that on there.
Did we vote on this?
No, we haven't. Just
No,
moved and
a
seconded.
motion and a second so far.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Perfect. Thanks, Amanda.
Yep.
Now I suppose we'll have to recess. That killed another 2 minutes. All right. Okay, we are back in session again. And at this time, we'll do the home abatement public hearings. So, need a motion to go and open it up for public hearings.
Also move that?
Dan will second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We're open for public hearing. Amanda?
All right, so we have 2 applications that were received, and it's for Clayton and Amy Johnson. We'll look at that one. That one was received first. And you should have the drawings and their permits in front of you. So we got an estimate on the cost of the home, the new home. There were some existing buildings, and there was an existing house on that property, so the abatement is only gonna be for the difference between the new home and the existing house. So we kinda, obviously it's just an estimate because we're using this year's tax rates and that sort of thing. But we came up with a county estimated abatement amount annually of $1,460. So I'll let you look that over and let me know if you have any questions on that one.
Now, the existing house is gonna be torn down or
Yes.
moved off.
I guess I'm not sure on that. Oh, here. Chris in the assessor's office had said, it's my understanding the existing house is for sale to be moved. So,
Cause if it's the property I'm thinking of, that house was totally remodeled here just a few years ago.
okay.
Well, a few years ago, probably 15.
Time flies.
Think about it.
Time flies.
It's still not that long ago.
Okay, any questions on this one?
No, none at all.
Eden Township, somebody said?
Yep, this one is in Eden Township.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's just northwest of Island, a few miles. Okay, I guess I'd entertain a motion to approve or deny.
We move to approve.
I'll support that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. That's the end of that one, Amanda.
All right. On to Kyle and Elizabeth Wassing. And so this property does not have an existing home on it. It is in Edgerton. And the estimated annual abatement using this year's values is $1,753.
I would make a motion to approve.
I'll support that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Sweet.
All right, thank you.
We can close the public hearing.
Second.
We're back in the regular session.
So we should vote on it.
What's that?
We should probably vote on it.
Yep.
To come out.
Made a motion in a
Oh.
second, probably should vote.
Well, we'll come out of the closed session then.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're back in regular session. Close the hearing. Any other business come before this board?
Move to adjourn.
Yep. Second.
We stand adjourned. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just really like the houses that they do. When I was
They're,
inspecting,
they're done. They sold.
they did.
Well, Tinkerberg Lumber in Edgerton